Good afternoon. Today's date is July 22nd, 2026. We are at the residence of Ajay Kamireddi, and what we are here to do is to examine the damages claimed on this homeowner's insurance policy for the storm that happened in June of last year. What I can tell you is, based on the storm data that I have, it's consistent with what's been inspected here. Per phone call with the adjuster that came in earlier this week on Monday, adjuster said that it was suspicious that they filed a year from the date of loss. I just want to make a quick note that has nothing to do with the fact that there is hail damage at this property. I've never heard of that, and that's a new one for me from State Farm. First thing I want to do is take a look at the collateral damages. Now, we can see here, and I'm going to upload these photos, where no human hand could safely reach. We have obvious collateral damage to the downspouts, the soft metals supporting the storm date that we have in this address. The storm date that we have is showing a maximum of 1.5 inch from this storm, less than 3 miles away, up to 1 inch at this property. Typically, I would expect to see some damages on this metal, and the reason that I don't, it's scientific with the tree cover. So likely the direction of the storm as it came down, it was blocked by the trees, and that metal section right there did not take any damage. But one thing I do want to point out that I don't think was picked up on by the adjuster or the ladder assist is the damage on the metal sections that aren't covered on these dormers. So that's what exactly we're going to do. We're going to hop up there and start taking a look there. So with a hailstorm, you're going to see collateral damages on metal components. You can see here on this valley guard, we have hits on the valley guard. I'm going to be measuring the damages. It looks like we have about 1 inch in diameter to the hit to the soft metal. We have obvious hits to the gutter on the top lip present here. Let me make sure I'm photographing this stuff. 1 inch in diameter. 1 inch in diameter. Okay, so we're seeing some consistency on the damages of soft metals. Got some more to the left side of this gutter. Hits to the top lip of the gutter. That is very indicative of hail. One inch in diameter. Now let's take a look at these metal roof components on the dormers. Alrighty, so again, let's brush this off, make sure it's clean. I'm gonna run my chalk a line. Look at there, dent, 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 dent. All right, so we can all agree that there is some damage, dent, 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 dent here on this metal portion. Let's, any guesses on what the measurements will come out to be? Looks like we have 1 inch in diameter. Let me try and do this as safely as I possibly can without going for a long ride. 1 inch in diameter. Let's see how I can access these over here. Trying to maintain 3 points of contact, and sure enough, 1 inch in diameter. So we're seeing a consistency with the size of hail reported on the date of loss in this area, the size of hail damaged on the gutters, and the size of hail on the metal roof components. Consistency. Alrighty, there is some wear and tear on this roof. I'm going to make a point to kind of show the differences of those now. Tear, blistering, things that are expected on roofs as they age. Let's take a look right here. You can see that blistering and wear and tear, they follow their own shape and pattern. And the one thing that they are not is consistent, okay? We can see here, if I were to measure this blistering here, it's going just about the entire length of the shingle, okay? It doesn't happen in a uniform appearance like something you could attribute to a sudden accidental loss. Another thing that I want to point out with wear and tear, I'm going to post a photo here, and what you can see with blistering is the asphalt actually pops up from the shingle, leaving no embedded granules and no bruised asphalt. There's actually no asphalt there. It's just fiberglass. Because, like everything else in life that is a blister, if you get one on your arm, it doesn't go inward, it comes outward. So something about this area here is causing the shingles to heat up and pop outward. Again, you can see this is blistering. I believe a big problem for a lot of the issues we have in this industry is not being able to properly identify storm damage versus blistering. So there is wear and tear on this roof. This is what it looks like. Now let's move on to the hail. Alrighty, so over here we're gonna examine what I believe to be hail, okay? So we're gonna circle some of these anomalies, alrighty, at random. All over this roof. Not a hard one by any means. Not sure what happened when reviewing this claim, but somebody missed something. Again, all over it. Just, well, the term I like to use is peppered. This roof has been peppered with hail, okay? You look at it from a distance, get that chalk out of there, and you can see that it's spread throughout, okay? It is not uniform in one place like wear and tear would be. It is spread throughout the entire sloped system. So what I'm going to do now is photograph and measure these anomalies. So far what we're seeing on the soft metals, on the gutters, on the metal roof section is all measuring up as the same size hail reported at this address on the date of loss, which would be 1 inch. So let's measure. Alrighty, looks like I missed one here. First thing I want to point out, I can see embedded granules into the asphalt matting. I can see bruised asphalt matting that's actually cracked, exposing the fiberglass matting, much different than the no asphalt of a blister. And wouldn't you look at that? It's measuring out to 1 inch in diameter. Let's take a look at this one here. 1 inch in diameter. 1 inch in diameter. 1 inch in diameter. 1 inch. 1 inch. 1 inch. 1 inch. 1 inch. 1 inch. 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. Sorry, get that thing out of the way. Alrighty, so one thing I want to point out here, and I'll post 2 photos right now. While they are all consistent in size, every one of these damaged shingles, every one of these hail hits, these bruised to the asphalt shingle, are a different shape. Because that's what hail does. It's not coming out a perfect little marble size or a golf ball size. It's falling in different types of shapes, not always perfectly circular. However, what you can see is it is all consistent in size. It's consistent with the hail reported at this address at the date of loss. It's consistent with the damages to the gutters and the downspouts. It's consistent with the damages on the metal roof section. Okay. Another thing I'd like to point out, one of these right here, these are always good to see if you believe you have storm damage, okay? Let me circle this. The reason for that being is I'm seeing 2 separate surfaces, the dragon tooth, the laminate part of the shingle, and the part beneath. Both of these are damaged on this and that. It is virtually impossible that this would, if this measures out to be 1 inch, okay, and it's damaged across 2 separate surfaces, it's virtually impossible that that was caused by something, anything other than what came down, okay? So I'm gonna get my measurer out. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 inch across 2 separate surfaces. This surface and this surface. Both of them are damaged, following the measurement size of 1 inch. Alrighty, let's move onward. Let's take a look at the soft metal components on this roofing system, the accessories, and measure those as well, see if they're consistent with everything else we're looking at on this roof. Looks like we have 1 inch in diameter right there. Huh. Let's come come over here and take a look at this exhaust fan. Excuse me, not exhaust fan, this rain cap here. One inch in diameter. 1 inch in diameter. 1 inch in diameter. Okay, so not only are the shingles, the downspouts, the gutters, the metal roofing section all measuring up in line with the reported hail size on the date of loss, we also have the soft metals on the roof. Everything is consistently adding up. Why don't we take a look here at this chimney shroud? I'm gonna do my hardest to reach up there. Michael Jordan, oh my goodness, look at that. Alrighty, so obvious dents at a place that are very hard to reach. Let's see if we can get some measurements without dying. I can't reach that. 1 inch. Whew, that took a little work, but you know, now that's a little bit smaller than 1 inch, but the thing is that's falling downward on an angled surface, and there is no argument whatsoever that it is damaged. You can see it pretty plain as day there. We have obvious damage to the chimney shroud, and it's not just in one place. It's round in appearance, leading me to believe that it was in fact caused by hail. It's not in one spot. So again, we're having consistency here. It's showing up throughout. I wish I could reach up there higher to get a better measurement, but I can promise you, based on what we're looking at here, those hits are going to fall within the 1 inch percentile. Again, look here at this slope just from afar. Any experienced vetted adjuster or roofer that knows what they're doing can look at this slope and tell you that's been absolutely smoked by hail. Absolutely smoked. Move on to this front slope here and take a gander. I'm going to circle some anomalies at random that I see. Again, what we're checking to see is if they are uniform and consistent in size and appearance as the rest of the roof. If that's uniform and paralleled with the storm data that we have at this address on the date of loss. One inch. I want to take a minute to really take a look at this one in particular. Okay, 1 inch in diameter, or one of these. It can be any of these on this front slope. But what you can see is when you get a really close-up photo, that the actual asphalt of the shingle has been cracked. It's not exposed, and I'm going to post another photo like the blistering over there, or the blistering even right here. You can see there is no asphalt here, where here the asphalt is clearly cracked and bruised, which is only from, and look, you can see how it pushes in when you touch it. That asphalt is bruised. Hail, okay? Outside source caused damage to that, not wear and tear. 1 inch in diameter, 1 inch in diameter, 1 inch in diameter, 1 inch in diameter, 1 inch in diameter. I'm going to take another moment and get a close-up of this one. Clear granules embedded into the shingle, pushed down into the asphalt. You can see them right there. Okay? Doesn't happen with wear and tear. That can only happen with something coming out and pushing it. Pushing it inward, bruising the shingle, 1 inch in diameter. Okay? So, just to follow up now, downspouts, gutters, metal roof, shingles on the right slope, on the front slope. Let's take a look at this back slope. Soft metals, chimney pant, chimney shroud, they're all measuring up within the same percentile as the hail reported at this address, confirmed at this address on the date of loss. Take a look here on the back slope. All right, 1 inch in diameter, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. Okay, so now that's 3 out of 4 slopes measuring up with the same size anomalies. These power attic fans. Once you spin away from me, 1 inch in diameter. Folks, I think I've shown all that needs to be seen. You have damage everywhere that it needs to be. Clear evidence of it surrounding this property. We've confirmed also with that metal section down there not having damage. The storm did in fact, based on what you see here on that side of the chimney being damaged, the storm did in fact come from this direction, which would confirm and prove why that wouldn't be on that metal roof down there, but on everywhere else, because this tree covers that front porch metal system. However, on the roof and on those metal sections over there and on the gutters and on the soft metals, there's no tree cover to block it. So the storm blew in from this direction, damaged everything on the roof, all metal systems, everything was obviously damaged. The same size hail measured up on all of these hits, on the shingles, on the front slope, the back slope, the right slope, the gutters, the downspouts, the metal roof dormers. It's all measuring up to the same size of hail that's reported on the data loss. The only reason that you're not going to see it on this slope is because of the size of the hail and the fact that this is the north-facing slope. Again, any seasoned adjuster that's worked in the Atlanta market will tell you you're not going to see a lot of damage on these north-facing slopes. You're just not. Okay? So as always, we appreciate you guys taking the time to look at this. We very much so look forward to your response in regards to this. Clearly somebody just didn't do enough investigating here. Let's take a look there. 1 inch on the hip and ridge. Let's take a look. Get that photograph just so you can see. 1 inch in diameter. Yeah, the only thing that you could, righteously infer by looking at this evidence documented here in this video is that all of this on this roof is from the same loss. Okay, you have a hail date, you have a hailstorm that was and is confirmed at this address at the end of June 2025. The homeowner had storm damage. It's all measuring up to the same size hail reported at this address. It's not rocket science, but we are happy to work with you guys to reach that common goal. We look forward to hearing back from you.